And then there's the rental houses. And there aren't that many of them. I really like Albright, that's in New York. They cut me amazing deals on certain, like once you start to create a relationship with them and they trust you, like Albright, on some of my jobs I have smaller budgets, they'll give me a really good deal. And then when I have a really big budget, I go in there and I spend with them. And I say, okay, I've got 10 grand, let's do this. And and then they're like so happy. So it's just like the PRs, it's relationships, it's etiquette, it's taking care of people, it's also being organized from our end, from the stylist end of like, when it's gonna come back, when the shoot is, here's the credit card number, taking care of all that kind of stuff and not just being like, oh yeah, I'm not so sure when we're gonna pick up, like have it all organized and ready to go inside of your process. So, yeah, so you do your shopping strategy and facilitate shopping, and that's when the budget management really comes in. It's like I got experience managing budgets when I was producing fashion shows, and you have a line item for everything. Like you have to sit and like really, because it's like you only have that money that the client gives you. You can't go ask for more. Like that's the mistake I'd made. It's like that's why it's so important that you do your wardrobe estimate with your agent, because your agent doesn't know what it takes, but you do. So going through and doing the budget and working with your assistants really closely on the budget is so important, because you have to leave contingencies. The clients can be crazy and start to add things at the last minute. Every receipt is like cash. I always do I do everything in cash, because that way when you start to do it in credit cards, then your assistants can't return things. Because it's like sometimes I'll overspend a little bit. Like if I have the cash flow, I'll overspend a little bit because I know we're end up returning. Or we give everything to the client depending on what the client wants to do. So, and it's part of what we're expected to do. So I also like to, about the same time that I'm working on the shopping strategy and stuff, I like to recommend creative teams to the art directors, because sometimes, especially if they're from, like there's a lot of art directors that work with bigger companies that are based in Chicago, Minneapolis, like those kind of places, and they don't know the New York teams. So it's really good. The photographer usually makes recommendations, but I like to make recommendations too. It's also a way that I can obligate back to people who've helped me. So, James, this one makeup artist referred me to a couple of big jobs, and so I put him on my big jobs. And it's how you're really able to kind of build your generation and take care of people who are taking care of you, which is so important with what we do. So important. Also, it's like if you get to a place, also with the budget, what's really important, and you guys can budgets are so easy to look up on the internet and all that kind of stuff to kind of learn about those. If you get into a place where you really see that the client's adding things, like sometimes the clients will call and start to add like, oh, we also need this and we need that and we're gonna do an extra shot. Renegotiate those budgets fast. And you can call, because you're just being on top of it, they respect it. Because sometimes the art director is not communicating to the same person who's the money person that my agent's negotiating with. So it's like they call me, the art director calls me and says, oh, we're adding these 4 outfits. And I'm like, oh, okay, no problem, I'll just adjust the budget. They're like, fine. I call my agent and I'm like, okay, we're adding these 4 outfits, so the budget, we need to add this much to the budget. And they handle the wires and the advances and all that stuff. But sometimes when my agent calls the money person at that company, they're like, what do you mean? Like, we can't go up. We can't do that budget. We can't do that, da 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 da. And so it ends up being like so you have to be really responsible for the communications. And in what we do, it's like you never want to, I would say eat shit. You never want to eat shit. And I don't know how to say it in a more polite way. It's like you take care of people, but you don't let them walk all over you. And people will try. They do the things that they do, and I've had clients do things like, oh, but so-and-so can do it that way. And I'm like, then go hire them. Like, this is what it costs, and that's that. And if they want to go work with someone else, that's totally cool, because I like to work with clients that are like, understand that things cost things, and that's how we work. We're going shopping. It's a wardrobe budget for a reason. So it's really important to like keep that communication going and make sure everything's legit through the money people and all that kind of good stuff. And that's another thing agents are great for.